Welcome in Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And we have a absolutely wonderful show for you guys today. Recording this 2 days before the NFL draft on Tuesday. I'm going to try and get this out late tonight so it is there for you all day Wednesday. And then, of course, leading up to the draft. I know we are incredibly excited for the first round of the draft on Thursday. And then, of course, rounds 2 through 7. Going to be a lot of fun the rest of the weekend. But, it's always that first round that really...
Super excited for it, though.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Not knowing who the first pick is going to be is something that's kind of weird to talk about. And I feel like we've all seen mocks. We've all done a bunch of mocks. We've done much mocks on this channel. And it's all kind of going along the same, basic thought process. We're all kind of following the leader a little bit with what we're hearing, what we're thinking, what the thought process is, and just with little changes here or there. So what we're going to do today is kind of flip the script and look at some bombshell draft possibilities, like teams that could really screw up the entire flow of this draft with one pick. And we're really going to focus on the top 10, 15 picks. We might go deeper if something strikes, but that's really what we're looking at today, which teams could really mess it up and things like that. So we're going to be on the draft simulator doing that. After that, we are going to talk a little bit of our favorite bets to close out the show, draft bets. I know I have bet more money than I should have on this draft with the confidence that I know what NFL teams are going to do, even though none of us really know.
We have nothing associated with these NFL teams. Yeah, I've placed a large sum of money on some as well. So nerve-wracking night. Either way, it's going to be fun. I guess we can kick off the draft simulator, though. The biggest thing behind it is that we're going to do it to where, there's this scope of where the Jaguars, for instance, this first overall pick, it's Hutch for the longest time. Hutch, no other option. Well, now it's Walker. Walker's by far the betting favorite. And then there's this thing that me and John have talked about. It's what'd you draft last year? You drafted Trevor Lawrence. You drafted a quarterback that struggled under pressure, and it wasn't his own fault. You saw the flashes of his traits and whatnot. He's going to be fine. But the offensive line, there's little to no talk about the Jaguars going offensive line at a time when, predominantly that's a major need of theirs. Yeah. I don't know why it's as scripted as what it should be for them getting edge. I understand it's a need on any team, don't get me wrong. But, we're going to start looking at certain cases like that. The fact that the Lions and Texans both have a need at quarterback, it may not be as urgent in a down quarterback class, but I don't know where this is going to take us. But there's just certain things that feel so scripted. I think we need to get off of that just a little bit, especially in a year when this class really doesn't have a presidential pick, which is a guaranteed top 5. It's all over the place. Yeah. Going in,
the podcast that we were doing at this time last year, the pod before the draft, we knew the top 2 picks. We thought we knew the top 3. That changed last second.
And we
it was supposed to be Mac Jones.
We just didn't know which quarterback.
And really, you could kind of play around with it however you want, but you could go top 7 and you kind of knew what you were getting. There's questions, just talking about last year, you could have gotten into questions of position for position, and we're kind of in that range, but there's so many things that could really, really throw it off, just like in last year's draft. If it didn't go, Wilson and Lawrence, the top 2, that would have screwed up everything. So let's play around with that. We'll put it on the screen here, just looking at the draft simulator on PFF. And you mentioned offensive line. Look, the Jaguars first pick on the clock right now, and they have Cam Robinson, who they signed to. I think they just gave him the franchise tag.
They did.
Of course, they bring in Sheriff, which was a great addition to the guard position there. Not impossible they take tackle, and really what I've heard, or what I've heard other people say, is that it's really still between 4 picks, and the growing consensus is that the head coach Peterson wants to go tackle, but the majority of the rest of the organization wants to take the sexy edge rusher as opposed to a tackle.
Yeah, it's actually in the levels. You have the head coach wants tackle, GM wants Walker, and then the owner Shad Khan wants Hutchinson.
Wow.
And we're going to get to see who kind of has the
who has the final. So let's give him the guard. Let's give him Evan Neal here out of Alabama. I'm just picking one of them. I'm taking Evan Neal. Ekwonu, they're so close together, and then Charles Cross.
I like Ekwonu a lot,
is becoming a top 5 pick, pretty much guaranteed at this point. It looks like Charles Cross probably going to go to the Giants.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. So tackle goes to Jaguars, and we'll kind of just go back and forth and discuss this. Where do you think the Lions would go?
Well, so if we are dealt this bombshell that I don't think is going to be, don't get me wrong, it's going to be shocking for sure. But with these circumstances, I think the Lions and Dan Campbell are sprinting to the stage to put in Aiden Hutchinson.
We're on the same page.
Michigan guy,
Yeah.
Detroit team. I think, it just sounds like it's a match made in heaven right there. And honestly, regardless of what the Jags do, there's a chance they go Walker. I think Detroit, fingers crossed, is hoping they can get this done. I really want to talk about 3, though, with the Texans.
This is where it gets interesting.
And I have a bet that I made a while ago, too, that I wanted to go ahead and talk about. It was Derek Stingley. I put $200, and I'm here to talk about it. It's okay. Call me stupid. That's fine. I put $200, Derek Stingley under 9.5. And since I've made that bet, and trust me, I was up
just
late.
so we're clear, under 9.5 picks, just for the 9 spot in the draft, 9.5.
I need Derek Stingley to be drafted 9th, 8th, 7th, or better.
Just make sure
down from there. Yeah, no, I understand. It can be a little confusing sometimes having to understand it. And since then, I was like, man, I don't know, thinking about hedging, thinking about betting the opposite and making a little bit, just canceling out my bet, making 0. There's been some things coming out saying that Stingley's flying up draft boards and that he, as of now, and you can go check it on most of the betting sites, he is the favorite to go number 3 to the Texans. And I don't know if we're going to give it here or not, but I mean,
let's save that one. Because I think that's a storyline in itself.
That's a whole other thing.
I think the growing or the general consensus has been that the Texans were going to go offensive line. I think Iguanu was the obvious pick.
Yeah.
But that was under the assumption that it goes edge. First 2, Walker and Hutchinson have been like those top 2, for the past couple weeks now at least. Can we? Do you want to keep that, or do we think Walker drops here? Just going based on because obviously yes, there's the possibility that he goes corner. Let's take that out of the cards just for a second and go. Do they stay going tackle, or do they go Walker, who has been getting similar grades to Aiden Hutchinson as the top 1-2 players in the class?
Yeah, and that's true. We just haven't heard a lot of other teams out of Walker at all. I know for a fact that if Hutch starts to slide, there's a team that's going to get right in there and be like, hey, this is not, like, we're stopping this right here. Walker, on the other hand, listen, his ADP at the beginning of the draft process was around 15 and 16.
Yeah.
And then there was this astronomical jump to where it was this rumor of a number 1 pick. Now he's solidified number 1 pick. So, I mean, that has the makings for right here on Pro Football Focus. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can see the screen. ADP is 7.1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's showing discrepancy from first to whatever range he falls at. If you want to do edge here, that's fine. I do think that they go offensive line, though.
Okay, so let's stick it with Iguana because I think that's interesting. So we have top 3 picks, 2 tackles instead of 2 edges, which I think has been everywhere. Now the Jets are on the clock with the Jets nobody's really thought the Jets were going offensive line. They drafted offensive line a bunch early picks. We would assume they're probably not going that route. Wide receiver feels like a pick that's pretty much destined to happen with the 10th overall, and I actually do want to talk about that a little bit later, but has felt like it's either corner or maybe one of the edge guys, right? I know Thibodeau's been in the conversation.
I'll let you
Sauce Gardner has been I was gonna say Sauce Gardner has been like the go-to guy for the Jets. I really believe I don't believe Walker falls past the Jets here. I really just don't. I think Walker is kind of in that conversation of top 2. I understand what you're saying about Hutchinson probably being the top guy on more teams' boards than Walker, but Walker, at least from everything I've heard, has been the top guy on a lot of teams' boards as well, and obviously from everything we're seeing now, probably the Jaguars' boards as well. Yeah, what do you think? I mean, give me some pushback if you disagree. My instinct is Walker here.
It just depends on what
if it goes this way. If it goes this way, I think it would be Walker here.
The way that we are handling this from top to bottom, if you just joined at any random spot, is that we're taking a curveball and seeing how the rest of the draft would go. We're not just throwing curveball after. I mean, I could throw you curveballs for days at this rate if we wanted to. Given the way the board goes, though, I see no way they don't go edge.
Yeah.
Tib or Walker. There's no way you'd assume Walker's on the board right here. That would be the pick.
Yeah. So let's go Walker. Now we have a real drop for Sauce, because Sauce has been supposed to go 4 pretty much this whole time.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay, so I guess the drop really hasn't stopped.
The line.
Yeah, exactly. The fall, I guess, really hasn't gone too bad. Now, do we expect both tackles off the board? Charles Cross has been the guy that has been rumored to the Giants. Do the Giants take a chance and take one of these top other, non-offensive line players when that's obviously their biggest need is offensive line, or do they try and wait till 7 to get Charles Cross?
See, and there's a huge gamble there though when it comes to the Panthers.
I think in this scenario, if
they
there's
might
only
miss
one
out on Cross,
if the top two picks are excuse me, let me rephrase this. If 2 tackles go before the Giants pick at 5, I don't think they go anywhere else other than tackle.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine.
There's
don't think.
a hefty drop off. You know that the Panthers are not going to go corner because they went J.C. Horn last year. He's coming off the injury, going to be healthy.
They traded with the Jags for a corner too.
Exactly. Their secondary for the most part is bolstered up. That's not what they're looking at. And you have the backdoor chance if they don't go quarterback. We know what they're doing. They're going to go tackle. And after the 1, 2, and 3, there's a gap.
Yeah,
there's
huge gap.
There's depth. That's when you get to the depth. But I mean, after that, you go 4 through 8, kind of interchangeable on people's boards.
Completely agree.
Yeah, no way that they don't pass on a Charles Cross, given the state. And I've heard that management is in love with him.
Yeah, I have a $25 bet at plus. I think I got a plus 700. It's gone down since I put the bet on that. Charles Cross is the pick at 5th. I put the exact pick at 5th overall. I don't think that's out. Even if, and this is just going back to what the general consensus of the mock drafts have been, even if it's Evan Neal or Iquanu sitting there at 5, I still think it's Cross at 5 over those guys. That's how strongly the Giants seem to be in on Cross. So I'm going to take Cross there just because I do agree. I think there's a chance if there's 2 tackles there at 5, they probably take the other position and wait till 7 because one of them's going to be there after the Panthers. But we'll see how that goes. Now, Panthers, do they still go quarterback? They have Amon Garrett. Well, we just said they're not going corner, so we're really not worried about that.
I don't think they're going to go defensive side of the ball. They might look at a Tib just because.
Yeah, but I mean, they have some pieces. Exactly. They have Gross Modus. They have Burns. There's some pieces there that I would still. Man, I really don't know where this goes. Offensive line's off the board. If they can't trade,
are we going to stray away from quarterback?
I don't know. Because I've come into this past week thinking it's got to be quarterback to the Panthers, and now I've kind of gone away with it when you know that Baker Mayfield is a real option. You know that Garoppolo is a real option, and you know that this staff has to win. They have to win now, and they know they have offensive weapons. They know they have pieces. They can probably win with a veteran quarterback that's serviceable, but do they keep wanting to kick the can down the road? It just seems like they're running out of time.
I'm going to stay on the same thing where I think that the Detroit Lions at 32 is the quarterback trade up for one of these teams on early second.
Panthers don't have a second or third round pick. They can't get up there.
No, you're right. I mean, but they have capital as to where they would be moved. They have, there's different things to say in that. I don't know that there's a guy that they could take at 6 quarterback wise, Pickett, Willis, whatever the case may be, that's going to propel them that much forward right now. They might take the way the board falls and take best overall talent available. I don't know.
Right now, that's Sauce because now Sauce is legitimately falling.
The board absolutely wrecks them with the way that we've handled this with 3 tackles in the top 5.
Yeah, this is a worst case. If they don't want quarterback, this is a worst case scenario for them.
I
would agree.
I would say we have to give them the quarterback.
Okay.
They're not going to go defensive side of the ball. Matt Rule spent his entire last year's draft. Was it last year, right?
Yes.
Going defensive. They had like 8 picks. They went all defense.
Do the Jets say fuck the wide receiver and try and trade up? Because the Panthers want to trade down. Their report came out today that they would trade down and take Pickett.
Oh yeah, and that's the more likely move. Is that I don't think the Panthers would want to do this.
But if the Jets are looking at it,
saying let's go get the fall of Sauce. Right now.
Let's go get Sauce. We could have gotten in at 4. Let's get him at 6. I mean, that's a real thing, right?
Deal it.
Let's do it. All right, so let's give him 10, 6, and we'll get next year's second and probably 35th.
Give him Carolina's old pick.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Their pick back. It says this trade will not be accepted. I disagree with that.
I would definitely think that. It's 4 picks.
Yeah, that would get accepted. You can hit force too, just to run it. No, it's just being difficult, yeah.
That's crazy. They don't think that would do it. Force trade. So we're just going to force trade to make it. However it would work, it doesn't matter. So now Jets here. We'll give them Sauce. This is an interesting way that it could play out, and I feel like all of that's very valid.
Yeah, well, you just got to look at the different things and be ready.
Giants
for it.
On the board with the
Tib.
Best case scenario. You do think it's Tib, so I'm going to give it Tib because that is the general consensus. I do think there's a real chance that Jermaine Johnson goes ahead of Tib in this class.
Now, can we talk about a Derek Stingley here though as well? Because the thing with the Jets' mindset behind this trade would be Giants are going to target a corner, and then the Falcons, Seahawks might do that. There's no way that one of these top tier guys, as in a Sauce or Stingley, lasts to us. Let's go guarantee one of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the Giants recognizing they just got to have that value right there. They're trying to trade James Bradbury, who was their one last year,
and they're also trying to
cash with him.
They're also trying to trade wide receiver. So I mean, Giants could really go anywhere. I do think Derek Stingley's a real conversation here. I don't know.
My vote goes Stingley.
Okay, let's give him Stingley. That's fine. I'm fine with Stingley. Now, if it falls this way, there's only one way the Falcons are going here. Tip. Absolutely Tip.
Tip stops right there.
Tip stops right there. Seems like that's probably a floor for it. Now, granted, again, I did mention the Jermaine Johnson thing, but edge is there. I mean, if you know, however you want to look at that. Now, Seahawks here at 9, and we'll close it out here pretty quickly. You know, we'll end the mock draft in a second, but where do you think the Seahawks will go? Just general consensus
right
pick.
Here.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're Jermaine Johnson. You know, there's a chance that he goes
I could
up
see
there.
that, yeah.
I've seen a lot of different ones with
Like Jordan Davis, maybe.
Jordan Davis could be one. I don't think that there's a realm where they would go a Trent McDuffie. I know corner is a need right there.
I don't think they go for third corner.
I just couldn't do that.
I'm going to give him Johnson.
The only reason I say that is because the Seahawks and Pete Carroll, they have a different draft strategy.
Yeah.
They really do.
I'm going to give him Johnson. Let's give the Panthers a quarterback, and we'll just let's play this out to the Texans, and we'll end it right there.
Yeah,
how's that sound? So we'll say we do believe that the Texans are going to pick it if they take a quarterback.
The main reason behind that, if those of you who don't know, is their owner is a massive booster behind the University of Pittsburgh. He has come out and been very open about wanting Pickett. And when you have Matt Rule, who the timer isn't ticking yet, but we're starting to watch the timer at the least.
For sure.
And if there's a way that you want to try to be able to wrap it up and make everyone feel just this cohesive unit, it's like, well, if I have a quarterback that I can try to build, why not get the guy that the owner is going to rep behind me too, which buys more time for my ass at that rate.
Yeah. So in this scenario, no wide receivers off the board. I do think this is Kyle Hamilton's home. I really think Kyle Hamilton's going to Washington at 11. I think that's just
the talent can't fall much more.
Yeah.
I want to point out we do not have a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's that. And where does it go?
Someone would be flying up soon.
Yeah, I would think
flying up soon.
Jameson Williams, best wide receiver in the class, with an ACL injury that might make him not the first wide receiver taken. Obviously, Drake London, your favorite wide receiver in the class. Garrett Wilson, high guy. I mean, there's just a lot of names here.
There is about to be from 11 to 16. There's a chance 4 of them go.
And the reason I think this is a possibility is just because I do think there's a realm where the depth of this class, of the wide receiver class, where teams are like, man, I can, like, especially in the top 10, the drop off from Jermaine Johnson, you know, assuming Jermaine Johnson's the third, the drop off from Jermaine Johnson to the next edge, that's a true, you know, edge rusher is just and Karlaftis is kind of a do it all solid guy who can do a lot of different things, but like he's not a Jermaine Johnson. They're very different types of edge players. But yeah, the drop off from those two is very real. The drop off from offensive line, from cross or however you want to order those top 3 to the next guy, real. The drop off in corner, and I kind of actually disagree with this, but according to everyone else, the drop off from corner after Stingley and Sauce, from just a physical traits perspective, which I do agree with, absolutely a real drop off. Actually, I don't even think I think that. I do think there's a little too.
I thought, and I'm low on Kyer Elam, but I thought that there was a world where McDuffie, Elam, Booth, and even my boy McCreary fit in that same
I think they're
scheme type fit.
And I honestly, and this is off topic a little bit, I think you go into the back of this first round and you look at Chiefs, who have 2 picks in the first, could easily take one of those corners. Lions always could use a corner. The Bucks could definitely use another corner. Titans, Bills, Cowboys, like any one of those teams. Our Arizona Cardinals need a corner bad. Any one of those teams can take a corner. I could see a run on corner late from 21 on.
Yeah.
So where a lot of those names that you just mentioned go off the board.
We're shaping up for the run of wide receivers.
Yeah. From Texans, yeah, absolutely. And would you want to just stop it right here and kind of redo the draft in a little different way,
or we'll stop?
Or do you want to rapid fire see how that would play out?
I mean, that's up to you. If
rapid fire, I'm going to give them all to you. Just rapid fire. Don't have to explain it. All right.
That's don't have to explain.
Yeah,
that's fine. Give me a damn Kyle Hamilton going right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna
give me the team and the
you're fine. I'm gonna absolutely shock the world here and say with the Vikings on this board, they're gonna take a Jameson Williams. Adam Thielen is aging. We do not have a 3. I've seen a lot of mocks to where I know with they have a way that the corners fall and stuff
over the guard or center
that they're going to take it. There's a chance for the green guy or whatever. But
so you think
give me Jimbo.
Okay, so Vikings can't pass up the start of the wide receiver run. Okay.
There's no way.
Okay. That's fine.
Adam Thielen's old. Yeah. There's no way there.
Texans take best available probably.
Yeah, and who is
who
that
they take? They took tackle first. I would probably go. I mean, just really quick. Let's go. Trent McDuffie. He can do a lot of things on the back end. If you love him, I could see Devontae Wyatt being a guy, or any one of those names. Let's just give him this guy, just Devontae Wyatt. And we'll move right along.
You said you really like Karlaftis to the Ravens, right?
I love Karlaftis to the Ravens.
And take that to the Ravens.
But I mean, I do think with the wide receivers available, they got rid of their big dude. I can't remember his name. It was like a third or fourth round pick. Boykin. I could see Drake London being that guy. I really could. But
okay,
I know you. Okay, so let's go.
And the case would be right here is it's going to go in my head. Whatever. If you give Karlaftis here, it's going receiver, receiver, receiver.
Okay, so let's do it that way. We'll go Karlaftis. I think Drake London fits the Vikings.
Drake London fits the Eagles scheme. Garrett Wilson is a slam dunk here.
Yeah.
And I think that leaves Olave going right to the Chargers as well.
Okay. Chris Olave. So that's how the run would go of wide receivers, if it fell that way. 4 wide receivers in the top 20.
And you can take that block of 3 and plug them in it.
Now let me ask you this. Why are you so hardcore on the Chargers going wide receiver? I mean, they did re-sign their first-round pick out of Clemson. Obviously, they
Mike
have
Williams, and they have Keenan.
Yeah.
I think that they have desperately been trying to find a third.
Yeah.
And with the scheme that they run, they just have this new era to where they don't have Anthony Lynn trying to run the ball first the whole time.
Yeah.
They're using Eckler as
why not have a third?
Eckler basically is a receiver in this offense now.
Yeah.
And being able to spread the field like they do, yes, the third is the move. I look at the other spots that they have. I guess there's a need for right tackle, but Rashawn Slater has stepped up, and if you could go back and redraft offensive linemen, I haven't gotten to look in depth at Panay, but Rashawn Slater, I have. He has played phenomenal, what he has been able to do. One of the most, him and Creed Humphrey, actually, for the Kansas City Chiefs at center. Phenomenal offensive linemen. So, yeah, I mean, I think that they're good on that offensive line for the most part. Put a lot of money there.
Fair enough. All right, I just wanted to, we're going to restart it. We're going to do this 1 or 2 more times, and we'll probably go a little bit faster because we got through a lot of our thoughts here. Just with what's the big twist in this one that we're going with?
So the big twist in this one, I would like to look at the Lions going quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
There's a lot of stuff out there that they haven't talked about, but if Dan Campbell likes a guy, there's an option for it.
I think if I would say betting favorite Trevon Walker going Jags. So let's go there.
We want to try to be as cookie cutter as we can, other than our curveball, and see how that affects our board.
So Lions going quarterback. If they go quarterback, they're going to go upside quarterback. They're not going to take.
It'd be Malik Willis.
Yeah, it's going to be Malik Willis. He has the biggest upside in this class. We'll go Malik Willis here. How does that affect the Texans with Hutchinson now on the board, which is the big name that now we said, do we still think it's a tackle if Hutch is on the board? Hutch fits that mold. I mean, he really does. I really think so. I think
for the new age JJ Watt.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? I mean they're different play style.
Obviously, but I mean, they're both, just very, very good football players.
Yeah.
Jets still probably go. I mean, really, all this does is give us an extra.
It gives us. There's a name that's going to slip though.
Yeah.
Because I mean and then we still have to determine where.
Do they still go corner?
The
Jets, because now both corner. Yeah. So pretty much everything's lined up for the Jets.
Let's avoid the fall of Sauce this time.
Okay, so we'll
give them the scripted Sauce pick.
Gotcha.
Let's see Tibb go to the Giants here. Tibb's line's 5.5. I just want to see the way that it shakes up with it. I know you like it.
I like a Tibb fall.
Tackle's going to make it to 7.
And there's 2 tackles there. So we just talked about that logic there.
Yep.
Panthers. I mean, fuck it. Let's see a quarterback. You want to try another quarterback here? Because I really do believe Panthers want to trade down, right? If they see Malik Willis off the board, there's only and Pitts is their guy. All they need is one other team to like him and take him after, assuming the Panthers want to trade down or something.
Let's try 2 in the top 10. That's going to be our. I mean,
that's a weird one.
And to say that it's weird is kind of alarming because in every single draft that we have seen.
Ever.
When are we talking that 2 quarterbacks don't go top 10?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So we'll go Kenny Pickett. Now the Giants are in a great spot.
Give him Cross because they like him a lot.
They like crossover. Ooh, I just don't think it want. Yeah, no, I mean Cross. We're saying it falls.
Take Icky.
Wait, we haven't had a tackle go.
No.
Wow, they have every tackle on the board.
Yep, they have every tackle on the board.
All right. Let's not. Even though I do think it would be Cross in this scenario, I really do.
We can't let Nkwonu fall.
Yeah,
because there's just no way that they have that mapped out. I'd like to do a little bit of a tackle run right here, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the Falcons feel like a team that they're in full rebuild mode, if one of the top 3 is there, they probably take them.
I'd give him Evan Neal.
Yeah, agreed. Evan Neal there. Seahawks are in a really good spot with Derek Stingley still on the board. We still have Johnson on the board, who I think, everyone's saying he's a top 10 guy, top 15 guy. So maybe he isn't, going to go top 10. But, you do think it's Derek Stingley?
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be Derek Stingley here. Who's your other option?
Well, I already clicked it,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore. Jets still, I mean, this is scripted in a way where they didn't need tackle at 4, so they're
this
probably
is
not
where
taking.
you would get Jermaine Johnson, right?
I think so. I do think so. Yeah, Jermaine Johnson. Now there could be a trade up. I don't expect it. Now Washington has a tackle on the board.
Charles Cross, right?
Maybe. I still think they could take Hamilton over Cross. This would be a real fall for Cross.
And as a Vikings fan, I would be pretty happy.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that. And,
Let's go. And I think you'd be happy either way. If Kyle Hamilton falls to you, I think you're probably taking him.
Oh, yeah. No, Kyle Hamilton would be an amazing pick, too.
Yeah.
I would prefer, I want the sexier pick there. I want the man-to-man lockdown corner, or I want the Kyle Hamilton move, or I want the, damn, all this stuff's gone, let's take the first wide receiver and just, mess everyone up.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Give him Charles Cross. Give us Hamilton.
Not Jermaine Johnson? Because Jermaine Johnson's now starting to fall.
You just gave Jermaine to the Jets.
No, I gave Jameson Williams to the Jets.
Oh, I said, okay. You went receiver.
Yeah, that's cool. Right, yeah. You still think it's so Hamilton?
No, that would be Jermaine Johnson.
You think
we have safety,
it's just a bigger need?
We have safety wrapped up, too.
What am I doing? So let's do that. Draft. And now the Texans are on the clock. Kyle Hamilton. I mean, it's a slam dunk. This worked out so well for the Texans.
What a draft. If that shakes up like that and there's a way that they land Hutch and Kyle Hamilton,
I mean,
they got 2 of the top 5 best talents in the draft.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And now, don't make me do it again. Don't make me do it again. But you know where I want to go. I think it's a slam dunk. Karlaftis is going to the
I'll give you
Ravens.
So we'll add this to our list. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Karlaftis to the Ravens. Nail it. I feel like you want more.
I do want more. Even though
it's very hard to nail a pick at 14.
14 is very hard. Yeah.
But look at where you're getting caught up. I mean, like every single time.
No, here's the thing. I did a 3-1 on Jermaine Johnson in the top 5 last week, which was basically me saying, "Hey, I'll take a shot." So I think I need a little bit more.
But I'm not trying to catch no 5-1.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, you can handle a 5-1 more than I can.
That shouldn't matter. The odds should play out the way.
I think if you Okay, let's pause this. Let's pause this conversation real quick. Let's see, because we were going to get into the betting odds here. I almost guarantee you there's an odds on for the Bengals. What do you think it's on?
For who?
For the
Ravens.
The Ravens.
Karlaftis?
For the Ravens pick 14. I am pretty sure there should be. I think it's all the way down the board that you can bet the picks now. They've all come out pretty much.
Man, I mean, I don't know what it would be.
I'm just going to look it up. It's worth a shot.
It'd be defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, okay, it would be defensive side. I'm saying I think there's going to be like an actual pick, like I don't know. I'm going to see if I can find it.
I don't think they have it. I think they would have Karlaftis, his over under, and I think it's like an 18.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I'll leave it alone then. I won't look at that because that's going to be a lot of dead time for me to find that. I want 5-1 for a Karlaftis exact pick on shot bet.
We'll settle on 4.
Huh?
We'll settle on 4.
All right, fair enough.
4-1.
Give me Karlaftis. And I will say, after
the fact is that we know Karlaftis is going to be there, so it's the Ravens sitting there saying we're going to overlook him, and they have a need at
4-1. It's already in the books.
You just got me in a shit bed.
It's already in the books. First of all, second of all, I just want to say if Karlaftis doesn't go to the Ravens, I don't know where he goes. I'm never going to know what team he plays for. Like I'm always going to think
the Patriots.
Yeah, I think that's a fall for. I mean, I do agree with that because I think he is like a Quiddy Pay type as far as like.
I think he has a high floor. He's a high floor pick.
Yeah, I just don't see him.
I don't see a lot of pop. I don't think you're getting an all-pro.
Is Karlaftis that two-gapping type of guy? I'm not saying he isn't. I just don't know. I don't know if he is.
I think with the way that the Patriots run their and the Ravens, they have a lot of similarities to the way that they do it. A lot of guys who can play stand-up, they bounce down, they go around. A lot of different blitz packages that free up linebackers. I think Karlaftis might be able to help them out. That's why I have Patriots making that pick.
Fair enough. All right, we're coming up on 30-minute mark. Let's get into our final topic of the night, just the final bets. Did you have anywhere else you wanted to go with this? I think we didn't want to do a full mock or anything.
You're good. I want to do one more real quick. We'll do a good job with it. I want to give a genuine top 10. No trades, genuine top 10. We both just get through it, and this is going to be the one that we really believe is happening. Yes, that I can clip out after the fact, and we can say, hey, Between the pylons, top 10.
All right.
Who is going to be the number 1 overall pick? Are we going to settle on Walker?
It's going to be Walker.
Let's go Walker.
I really believe it's Walker. All right, so let's just do this. Let's decide now who gets the. We'll go back and forth on if we have any debates. We'll go back and forth on who gets to decide. Assuming we can't make a decision.
Well, you'll get the possession. You get first possession. You get possession arrow.
All right, fair enough.
I'll get the second. We both agree on Hutch here, though.
Absolutely.
And then we both agree on Ick.
Yes.
Icky.
It's Icky. Icky number 3 makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, Icky number 3, and I think this is where you will get possession arrow. Maybe.
I want to go Gardner. I think it's Gardner here.
Yeah, I would go Sauce as well.
Okay, so yeah, we don't need a possession error here. This might be where we need it.
This is where we'll use it because I would say Tibb and you're going to say Cross.
I am saying Cross.
And that's okay.
I think it's Cross.
I'll give up possession arrow for that. That's okay. Wow. This is tough.
This is a perfect scenario for them. They have O-line, they have quarterback. I mean, they can go wherever they want with this.
So the most likely thing, and my gut says there's no way that they do not have a quarterback out of the first round here. My gut says there's just no way.
Yeah, I agree
with
that.
all that we've heard, and I it's so hard to go against betting odds though. They know. They do not lose money. We have seen the line on Pickett, Willis, and all those guys. This isn't one of those things.
Okay, so I do want to talk. The betting odds in the NFL draft is not based around any statistical analysis or anything.
There's nothing.
They're setting a line and they are adjusting it based on the bets that come in. All right, so they are reacting. They react very quickly. They react faster than we can, but they're reacting to us essentially making bets and putting in large sums of money. I do believe that's beatable. I believe that these lines are very, very beatable if you actually pay attention and listen as much as we do, which, I mean, we follow this very closely.
I promise you these lines are beatable because there's certain players, Travon Walker, you could have jumped out off the rip if you just somehow knew he was at 13.5.
Yeah.
You could have already slam dunk, made you X amount of dollars if you could have put a max bet on that because there's no way that happens now.
Yeah.
So it is hearsay at the beginning, and then when they figure out they're wrong, boom, get rid of that, change it up.
So I don't know.
Me and you both feel strongly that they are going to go quarterback, and I'm going to stick with you on Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry, I stand by it.
Yeah, I think it's Kenny Pickett. You know, I keep coming around to Malik Willis. Like, maybe do they take the chance? We're going to take Kenny Pickett here. I do agree that it's Kenny Pickett.
I think any other team goes Willis. I think from the stuff that I've heard out of Carolina.
So the one part about it with Carolina is the Matt Rule and that coaching staff knows that they're probably out if they don't have a reasonable year this year, and they might look at Pickett as the guy who has the higher upside, higher ceiling, and they say, man, if we just get 5 or 6 games down the stretch where he has some wow moments, our job is safe for another year.
Yeah.
The same kind of thought process that I think Matt Nagy came into this season with last year. Obviously, it didn't work out. But that kind of thought process, I think they would expect a little bit more out of him.
Nagy was like, Justin Fields could save my ass just by keeping it close.
I'll sit here and say, I think Kenny Pickett fits that system. I think Kenny Pickett would be really good. I also like Kenny Pickett a whole lot more than the general consensus does. So that's where we're at there. We gave the Giants a tackle first. I think they go line. I think they attack the offensive side of the line, and I think they attack the defensive side of the line. This is where we're going to disagree, though, and you're going to get the possession
I have to go away from what my wallet says on trying to force Stingley in here. It would be Thibodeau. I think that they're going to do their due diligence on Thibodeau at 5, let alone assuming that they, but I mean, that's just saying, okay, Panthers need O-line or QB. Well, let's take that O-line away from them, knowing that they're not going to take a Tibb. They're playing that chess match right there. I think Thibodeau goes.
This is where you get the possession error. I think it'd be Jermaine Johnson over Thibodeau.
Okay.
Yeah, I really do believe that.
That sucks. I have to use it on Thibodeau here because ADP has me backed, but run it.
I genuinely believe that, and you know that. I'm not just trying to screw you.
I know. I would use it's Thibodeau.
Right.
I would go Thibodeau here.
All right.
And then we get to talk. It'd be Evan Neal, right?
Yeah, I don't think they can't follow. Yeah, I absolutely agree with Evan Neal here.
Evan Neal.
So that's basically saying that tackle falls.
I think we'll agree on the next two. It'd be Evan Neal and then a Derek Stingley to Seattle. But you're about to. God dang it, Jermaine Johnson! Oh my God.
I think it's a real conversation. I really do. I don't.
It definitely is. I mean, it's edge versus corner, and I would argue they need.
So you know what I honestly believe is going to happen. I've thought about this a lot. I genuinely believe if it played out exactly the way it did here, I think somebody's trading up because Seahawks love to trade down. What do they want to do more than anything? They want to trade down. I think somebody's trading up ahead of the Jets to go get a wide receiver. I really do. We saw it happen last year with trying to jump a team that obviously you know wide receiver.
The Saints or the Eagles coming
up. The Jets have been very, very vocal about the fact that they need a wide receiver. They have attacked wide receiver in free agency and it hasn't worked out in trades and everything. I don't know which team it would be. I don't know how it would go.
Can we do this aside real quick? The Debo thing. The fact I genuinely believe that the Jets are trading for Debo.
Yeah,
at the 10 spot primarily.
I don't think it'll happen just because I don't think the 49ers want to give up Debo.
John Lynch does not want to lose him.
I just don't think it's going to happen because it just came out last week. I mean, really, because we didn't talk about it in the last pod, so it came out within the past 7 days.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen that fast. I don't think the 49ers organization is going to get over the idea of losing Deebo Samuel when he was the offense. And I know he had the running back role, and I know he, like, you want to call him a gimmick player or whatever. Like, he was a legit wide receiver that put up 1,400 yards receiving on top of his rushing duties. And really, 1,400 yards receiving and a little over half the season, because the second half of the season he was running the ball because he was the best running back on the team, and they used him where they needed him. I think Debo's really good, and I understand that he's really only had 1 year of elite production, but I do think the 49ers will be willing to pay for it, and I just don't know how much money is it going to take to make him happy. What is the real issue there? I think that's another part that, like, I think it's a lot of little things. He might. Everything I've seen is he doesn't like L.A. or he doesn't like California. Excuse me. He doesn't want to have the dual responsibility role, and just a lot of other things that are going into it. But I don't know.
There's probably saw Trey Lance throw the ball too and was like, "Man, I'm not getting my touches."
Yeah, right.
I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
What about this then? Knowing what you know about Debo, where does he stack up in this wide receiver class? Because I would say clear cut number one. Do you see a guy that has a higher ceiling in this class than what Debo can get to?
Jameson Williams has Tyreek Hill level speed.
So that's Williams where has that ceiling.
Yeah, and Jameson, I think last year's class would be a better way for me to look at it, because I would have put him behind the two Alabama wide receivers and obviously Jamar as far as ceiling. I think, obviously year one last year, he was obviously the better of those, but ceiling, well, really maybe not even better than Jamar Chase. But ceiling, I probably would put him behind those three. And it's really hard because he's on a really good team, so that's a tough one to really dissect.
He's coming off of an historic year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is peak Debo right now.
Yeah, that's a tough one to dissect.
But I'm just saying, I say all that to
say Jameson Williams is better than Devontae Smith, I think, was last year as far as a prospect.
Yes.
So
Devontae can just play football. There's nothing about him that says, athleticism-wise that pops up.
Yeah, he wasn't as fast as Jameson. Yeah, so with that I say I think Jameson Williams has a higher ceiling. But again, injury plays an effect. You never know how that's going to go. Anyway, I
think Debo's dealt.
You think Debo's dealt? Fair enough. I think it'll be interesting. Do you want to take odds on him being dealt? I don't think he's traded before the draft. I don't think he's traded. I don't think he's traded on Thursday. Maybe he's traded Friday. I don't think he's traded on Thursday.
Honestly, I agree with you there in saying that I think the Jets are going to want to see how the board falls for them and see if there's a way that they get X guy or this guy, and then if they don't. But then again, you've already used that pick. That pick is gone. That pick, number 10, they have said they would give for Debo.
Yeah.
So I guess the argument there is, why are the 49ers hesitant? They want Debo. They want to keep him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they don't want to trade him.
That's hard to say no to.
I'll give you odds. I mean, I'll give you 3-1 odds.
I'm more inclined to say A.J. Brown for both Eagles picks.
For both Eagles picks?
Yeah,
Titans should do that if that's an option.
Jalen Hurts was working out with A.J. Brown today.
Yeah.
And Jalen was making jokes with him saying, I'm trying to get him, trying to talk to him and stuff. They were doing that.
I don't think Titans trade AJ. I really don't.
No,
but I mean, if both Eagles picks are option, or they can get 15 and 18. I mean, again, this isn't like the greatest draft class ever, but you have 3 first-round picks. You can replace your wide receiver fairly quickly. You
got to think the Eagles
and you don't have to pay him.
Picked up one next year too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in their head,
that's a win.
In their head, they could write off the first round and say, we got A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that. I think that's a win-win.
And as Tennessee Titans fans, you should be happy too. Yeah. I'm sorry, I know the attachment that's there, but listen, you're a run-first football team, and if you get 2 picks for that, avoid the payday.
I think that's a move. I don't think that would happen. I don't think you could get 2 picks for 2
I'll give you odds on the Debo thing though.
Okay.
I'll do one shot for a 5. I want 5-1.
5-1. You gave me 4-1
on an edge going to the Ravens.
No, on Jermaine Johnson on Karlaftis going to the Ravens specifically.
Yeah.
No, you're not getting 5-1. You get 4-1. That's the best I can do.
Okay.
All right.
4-1
All right. We got to write these bets down. Damn.
We will.
All right. So let's get back to it. We said no trades. I really think there's a trade here. We'll go Stingley. That's fine. I'll give it to you. And then Jets, Jermaine Johnson. I know we were Jamison Williams. I fucking suck today. Damn. Jamison Williams. I know we agree on that. Let's go, Jameson Williams.
And there it is.
Call it. All right, we're at 40 minutes, and now we're gonna do a quick. Do you want to look at our trade, like our best bets kind of thing? I was
saying best bets. Just talk about your own personal bets that you're kind of writing out and stuff. I talked about my Derek Stingley one. I'll say it again. I have $200 on Derek Stingley under 9.5, meaning I needed to be drafted at 9th under 8, 7, 6, so forth.
So I got us on the big screen. So I'm just looking through my bets here, and I'll go through it. I have a couple different bets on the top 2 picks, right? And I've kind of like hedged my bets a lot. Basically, and this was a couple weeks ago, I got Walker as the 2nd overall pick at plus 550, and then I got Hutch at plus 140, and then I took Walker as the first pick in the draft at plus 150, basically getting positive money no matter what. And basically, as long as those two go either way, I'm winning money. I also hedged all of that, and I said offensive lineman as the Jaguars' first pick at plus 275, which I like that a lot. Just I think that's a good enough odds to put $20 down, and you get almost 3-1 on them taking a tackle, which is a real conversation in that front office. So another one that I really like: Buffalo Bills drafting a running back with their first pick.
Yes, I had that bet. Same bet.
Plus 400 right now. I put 25 on that to win 100 basically, and that's I think that's a good bet because I really do think Buffalo Bills are a great running back away from being super scary.
I don't think that there is going to be a stud star wide receiver. I think that they're going to have to make the first pick if they go wide receiver of the Treylon Burks, the Christian Watson, the Jahan Dawson, all those other ones. I think they're better off going running back there. And I know that's going to get an F grade from every single spot out there. You don't draft them in the first round. This team has a window more than open.
Elite.
More than open.
Yeah.
I mean, they are missing this piece away. And what is the one thing that Buffalo has desperately tried to do for the past few seasons? They tried to get Devin Singletary going. They drafted Zach Moss, tried to get him going. Your best running back is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you can somehow get a run game to this to where you can get a lead and hold on to it and you don't have to play hero ball, he's very capable of doing that. But imagine if you're able to grind the clock out against the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep the ball away from them.
You got a guy who can break off a big run. He's a great running back. He's the best running back in this class,
now,
according to a lot of people.
Walker a lot, right?
I like Kenneth Walker a whole lot as well. I think they're both really good. I had Kenneth Walker a little bit ahead of him, but I don't. Again, that's apples and oranges, or excuse me, that's really close.
It's close.
And I really wouldn't have a problem either way. I like having the out that it might be him because what if the Bills like him more? I don't know. You never know with that stuff like that. Either way, you have both those guys. I think guys that can get you 4 yards when there's only 2 yards available. Both those guys are guys that can break off a big run and be a game changer in the run game. And both those guys are guys that can really make your team a 3-dimensional football team because it has been somewhat one-dimensional. And that dimension has been freaking amazing. So it's hard to be upset about it. And he probably won't be the greatest fantasy weapon of all time because you're probably going to still try and throw for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns a game if you can. But in those games where teams take that away or have the ability to slow that down, run the ball.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bets in the draft, Garrett Wilson is just being his line is off at 9.5. Over. I mean, first of all, I don't see a spot where he goes in the top 9. I really don't see a wide receiver going in the top 9
There's
aside
a chance
from a trade.
that the Falcons take one.
Yeah, the Falcons could take one. I guess that's a conversation. I would be very surprised if they took a wide receiver.
Giants are shopping Slayton and Tony.
That's a real possibility too. Maybe it's not a slam dunk. Fair enough. And I just mentioned the possibility of the Seahawks trading down from 9th for a team to jump the Jets to get a wide receiver.
I feel like that 8-9 spot is if you get bitten, that's where it comes from. But no,
but again,
there's no guarantee he's the first one.
That's my other part. It's like, okay, maybe a wide receiver does go in the top 9. I don't think it's Garrett Wilson. I think Jameson Williams is the first wide receiver taken. I bet on that too. We'll talk about that in a minute. And second of all, Drake London might fit the team that drafts him better than Garrett Wilson.
The team
does.
that wants to trade. If it's the Eagles coming up, Drake London with Jalen Hurts would be phenomenal.
Absolutely, because Garrett Wilson is, let's be honest, probably a worse version of Devontae Smith that's already with the Eagles. So they would trade up and get a Drake London, who's a different type of wide receiver. I think I mentioned this earlier. I really think if you have a couple bucks, go throw it on a 7-1, 5-1, wherever the odds are now. Charles Cross, 5th overall. The Giants love Charles Cross. That's everything I've seen. That's everything I've heard. I'm very excited about that. Have you bet that one yet?
I've not bet Charles Cross, but
I think you should think about it. I think you should, because I think that's one I'm going to be.
I have
with.
heard that they're high on him.
Yeah, and I got 25 to win 200. I think that's a good deal for me. This is the one that's the one. This is the one we got to talk about. All right, Kayvon Thibodeau, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Yeah. It's at plus 170 right now for him to be over 4.5. All right. So almost 2 to 1, but like 1.7 to 1 basically on your money that he isn't drafted in the top 4. He is the consensus third best edge in this class. Yes. The consensus. He might. There's a lot of people that have him as 4. I've seen people that have him farther down than 4. All right, and you can say whatever you want about all the talking heads and anything like that. Nobody really knows what these teams are thinking. But a guy who is the consensus third best position in the draft, going 4 overall, going 3. I don't think maybe 3 overall. He's not going top 2. I think that's almost a slam dunk. He's not going top 2.
Yeah, and if I feel safe going, he's not a top 2. So if you're willing to bet an under, you're saying he goes 3 or 4. Man, 4 is where you get bit if it happens. For sure.
And you know what I should do?
But you'll go into any draft saying, well, if so-and-so is going to make that happen, I will lose off of that versus the whole board. Every time.
Honestly, and what I should do is I should guarantee myself a dub and put a lot of money on him over, and then put a little bit of money on exact picks a third, exact picks 4th, and basically guarantee, because I guarantee you it's plus money, and I could look into that right now.
Well, yeah, because there's some sites that don't even have him on their board at that point for the Jets at 4 because he should have already been gone or whatever.
So at third pick it's plus 500. At second pick it's
I don't think
plus
they have
300.
A 4th,
they have
a few more. There you go.
There should be a 4th pick down here. I know they have it. I don't know.
You can find a site where you have it.
Let's see if it's under other. Yeah, 5th pick, 4th pick right here. 4th pick, that's
where you lose money.
It's at plus 180. So that Well, no, I don't think I do. I break even at 4th pick basically. Break even a 4th pick, but then at that point you're probably getting
just putting
close.
more money into it.
Yeah. So probably wouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, I'm taking that plus 160 that he goes over. I don't think he goes to the Jets at 4. I really don't. I've heard people saying there's no way he's a top 5.
Man, we got a lot to cheer for draft night.
Yeah, I'm excited. Look, there's a very real chance that at 10 overall, I'm done, and I want everyone to leave the house because I'm hosting the draft party this year. Yeah. So there's a real chance I gotta suck it up and take my shots.
I'm going to be sweating Derek Stingley's name, and I just know what's going to happen. I'm going to hear Seattle Seahawks cornerback. Washington, Trent McDuffie, and I'm going to go, fuck you, Pete Carroll. What are you like? Because he just always has this unique draft style of I like certain guys like this, and why not get the hometown kid right over there?
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely agree. I also put a little bit of money. I put 25 each on the top 2 tackles, Aquanu and Evan Neal, going 3rd overall, because I do think Texans go tackle. So that's basically $50 me saying, hey, they're going to take a tackle, and I'll win money either way if it's one of the top 2. Just a couple other ones that I'll quickly hit. Roger McCreary, cornerback out of Auburn, basically being a top 50 pick. 49.5 is the line. I do think he's in that range. John Mechie. This is a name who he's a popular name. Yeah, well, I mean, he's everywhere. It's consensus, 4th and below. Like, he's a day 3 guy pretty much everywhere that I've seen. The line's at 56.5. I don't think he goes in that range. I took the over. It's juiced up a little bit at minus 120, but yeah, he's not going in that range. I really don't think he will. I only put 15 on it, so I think there's dying about it.
Too many other day 2 wide receiver names that pop off a lot more than a John.
And at the end of the day, the media and the average fan will fall in love with the Alabama wide receiver a lot faster than the NFL team will. That puts the real effort into finding these guys on any given team.
I think Calvin Austin goes before Mechie just because Calvin Austin ran that rumored 4.03. Yeah. Exactly. At the combine.
Mechie, but from all accounts, Mechie is a solid 3rd or 4th wide receiver, and you just don't draft that in the top 3 rounds. You draft upside. You draft guys that can be legit number 2s or have the upside of being a stars and stuff like that. You draft guys like that, later on in the draft. That's just what you do. Treylon Burks, another guy who I've heard a lot of different things about. His line's at 23.5. I took the over on that too. I feel really okay about that.
He could be the shocker.
He could definitely shock me. Again, these are small bets, so like if I lose, it's fine.
I have a bet on Walker as well. I have a bet on the under on Olave though.
Last one I'll really talk about, Jameson Williams, 2-1, a little bit over 2-1 on him being the first wide receiver taken. I think he will be. I really do. Feel good about that.
Not a bad one.
Anywhere else you want to go? I know you have a couple. I'm going through mine on the computer.
I think I covered mine with Stingley primarily. I mean, that's my.
How many wide receivers go in this class? Or in the first round?
In the first round, if you can find a line that says 6.5, you take the under.
I took 5.5 in the under.
And I think 6.
But I got it plus 300. So that's 3-1.
London, JMO, Wilson, Olave, Burks.
I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely a first rounder.
Okay.
I don't think Burks is definitely. I mean, I agree he probably will go.
So we have 4.
I think there's a chance Burks falls to second, though. 4 is definite. 4 is definite. There's no way those 4 get out of the first round.
Then you have your maybes. You have your maybe George Pickens, your maybe Jahan Dotson, your maybe Traylon Burks.
I got to dodge 2, basically.
Your maybe Watson.
Or no, I only get to dodge 1. Man, you're right.
That's the scary part about that, is with the weird maybes. I'm a big believer in a George Pickens. George Pickens and his ability, he has an attitude problem, but his ability, you put him on the Packers or Chiefs and he lands in that team, God dang. Also, I think the Bills should do their due diligence on him right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. In that range, I mean, Chiefs. If Pickens goes to the Chiefs, everyone's gonna be pissed they didn't take him if he goes to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I'm not sitting here saying I definitely love that pick. I got it at plus 300, so 3-1.
That's good odds.
That a guy falls.
I think the 6.5 odds is the same thing. Just change the odds a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Corners. I took 5 corners in the first.
I would say over.
It's at 4.5. The line's at 4.5.
I didn't name Andrew Booth on that for corners.
Yeah, exactly. So corner, we know Sauce, Stingley for sure. McDuffie has been pretty much a slam dunk. I think, we named 3 other guys. Booth, Elam, McCreary are all guys that have a chance to go in the first.
Daxton Hill is a safety.
Daxton Hill is a safety.
Okay.
Those are the main guys. I'm sure there's other names that and obviously there's always the surprise guy that could definitely drop, fall in there. But those, I feel good about more corners going than less, in my opinion. And that's pretty much it for my bets. I don't really have anything else. Anywhere else you want to go?
I wish we could fast forward to it. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Got one more day of work before we start. Hey, we'll call it. This is a little bit longer pod than we meant to do, but thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Peace.
7.